Hello guys, my name is Remik, and in today's video we are going to implement the fully working pagination with the .NET 8 and React. So we'll pass the proper pagination data from our dropdown that will select the page size and also the pagination component to pass the page number from the semantic UI, and our API will react on that data, will return for us the proper results and also return for us the related pagination data in the custom created header that will be called Pagination, and everything will be passed once again to our React frontend and will display the results in our React. So if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, then please hit the subscribe button down below, give me the like, write the comment, and now we are going straight into the video. Alright guys, so we'll start with the short demonstration how our pagination will look like after applying all the changes after completing this video. So from the last video about how to create the CRUD with the usage of .NET 8 and React, we had this final stage of the movies table with the edit, delete and create movie form. And after completing this video, you'll have the pagination with the 4 available sizes in the dropdown to choose. As you see, we have 5 chosen, and when we'll change from 5 to 10 items per page, then our movies table will expand and we'll have 10 of those movies available. And when I will go back, as you see, we have 3 pages available to go to. We have the first one, then second one, and then third one, because we have 12 of those movies here. And when we'll change to 10 items per page, the number of the pages available reduced from 3 to 2, because we have now 10 available movies on this page, and on the next one we'll have 2. When we'll change from 10 to 20, as you see, we'll have only 1 page available. So it will be the final stage of our pagination. When you have completed my last video about how to create the CRUD application with the .NET 8 and also the React frontend, you should be probably familiar with that getMovies query handler to retrieve the list of the movie DTOs to our React application. Here we are retrieving the list of the movies, and then with the usage of the mapster, we are creating the getMovies response based on that, and this is actually the getMovies response as the wrapper for the list of the movie DTO. Now we'll have to create the custom paginated list in order to pass also the total pages, page size, total count, current page, and also those movie DTOs, because the React frontend will need some kind of those integer values to properly set up the pagination. So in the movies.contracts, I will create the one class called paginated list. And in here, it will be the generic class, and we'll create a constructor public paginated list. And in here, we'll pass the enumerable of t called items, then also the int count, int page number, and integer page size. We have to create appropriate properties for it. So public int total pages, public int page size, public int total count, also the current page, and as the last one, it will be the public enumerable of t called items. And in the constructor, we have to assign all of those. So the current page will be equal to page number, then the total pages. So we have to divide count and the page size. So take the integer value of the math scaling function to get the count divided by double page size to have the total pages. Then the page size will be equal to the page size, of course. Then total count will be equal to the count that we passed as an argument to our constructor, and the items, of course, the items. The next thing to do is to create the collection helper that will have one method that will be called toPaginated_list, and it will return for us the result from the database, and it will wrap it into the paginated list, the generic one. So we have to create one static class collection helper of type T. So in our movies.application, I'll create one separated directory called helpers, and inside of it, I'll create that class that I was referring to. It will be the collection helper.cs, will be the static class, and inside of it we'll create public static async task paginated list of the type T, and it will be called toPaginated list. And it will take as the parameter I queryable of type, of course, T as the source, and then also the page number that we'll have from our request, but we haven't set up yet, so it will be on the later phase of the video, and also the page size. And in here, we'll just write the count, so we have to retrieve the count of those items. So source count async from entity framework core var items equal to await source dot skip, and in here we have to skip the page number that we are currently in -1, because if the page number will be the first one, so then we have the 1 subtracting 1, and then we have the 0, and the 0 times page size will be, of course, 0. So we'll skip actually nothing, and then we'll take the page size. So for instance, I will have the request to retrieve the first page and to take 5 items. So the page number -1 will have 0 times page size 0, take page size, so 5 items from our database to list async. If it will be the page number 2, so then we're actually skipping the first 5 results, and we are taking then the page size, so the 5 items after those 5 items that we actually skipped there. And then we are returning the new paginated list, and we are passing items, then the count, page number, and also page size. Right, now we'll create one specific class called pagination params, which will be passed to our query and then to the query handler, in which we'll have the page size and also the page number. But we'll have to also validate the page size, but I will just show you after creating that class. So in the name, we'll write pagination params .cs, and the first one is the public int page number, and by default it will be 1. And then we have to validate also the page size, because there is one apprehension that it will be higher than our desired maximum value. So we'll write private int page size, which will have as the 5. It will be the default one, and we'll write the public int page size. Also, we need some maximum page size. So as I remember in our React app, it was 30. So the const int maximum page size, it was 30. And here in the getter, we'll return that page size. And in the setter, we'll write page size equal value will be higher than maximum page size. If yes, then we are returning the maximum page size. If not, then we are returning that value that was in the request. So in that simple set, we'll just check if the value is higher than the maximum. If it's higher than maximum, then we'll assign the maximum page size of 30. If it will be less than maximum page size, then we'll pass the value as the page size. Now we have to change our get endpoint for all of the movies to pass also from the query the page size and the page number, and to pass to the get movies query here the new pagination params that will create based on those two values that will be passed as the query parameters. So near that mediator, I'll just write from query, and it will be the int page size as the first one, and the second one, it will be also the from query int page number. In get movies query, we'll have to get the pagination params in here, and inside of it I'll just write new pagination params, and in here we have the page number will be the page number, and also the page size will be the page size. Now we have to go to our handler, and in here we have to change the way that we are actually retrieving the movies from the database. First of all, we have to wipe out everything that we have here, and we'll get movies by creating the get movies query as the queryable, and then we'll pass this to our collection helper that will create for us the paginated list. So var get movies query, it will be the movies.moviesdb context.movies.project to type, because we'll use the extension method from the Mapster to have the results as the movie DTO instead of the pure movie object. So project to type movie DTO, and then we'll use the method asQueryable to create the iQueryable of the movie DTO. Now we'll get the paginated list. So we'll write the paginated list, and it will be equal to await collection helper of the type movie DTO. And as you remember, we've created the two paginated list, and we have to pass the source, so get movies query, and then from the request dot pagination params we have the page number, and also in the request pagination params dot page size we have the page size. and we'll return the paginated list. But we have that get movies response, so we have to change from the get movies response as the result type into the paginated list of the movie DTO. So paginated list of movie DTO. We have to change this as well here, and in the query as well we have to import types, of course, or remove the not used namespaces. Now we'll check how our response will look like after applying the pagination in our Swagger. So in the get all the movies endpoint, I will try it out and I will write the page size as 5 and a page number of 1, and we'll see that it looks like that. So we're applying as the query params the page size and the page number, and as you see, our API knows what we are actually requesting. So we have the total pages of 2 because the page size is 5, and the total count of items that we have in our DB is 6. The current page is 1, and we have all those 5 items. So now when we'll change it to 10, then we should have only one page. Yes, because the total pages with the page size will have only 1. Total count still 6, and the current page is the first one. And now we have all of those requested movies from the DB. Now we have to change the way of returning the data to our React application in our paginated endpoint, because for now we are returning all of those essential data in the one big object called paginated list of the movie DTO. But we would like to return the list of the movie DTOs and to have the data related to the pagination inside of the custom header. So we have to create one class called pagination result, and this pagination result will have special appended X pagination header, and inside of it we'll have all of those, so the page size, page number, total items, and also the total pages. So we would like to create one extension for the result, because here, as you see, we have the return results OK and the movies, and we have one method called extensions, and then we can pass our custom extension for the 200 OK result. So I'll just leave it as it is, and we'll create one custom extension. So inside of the presentation, we'll create one directory called extensions, and here we'll create one class. It will be called results extensions. And we'll mark this as the static class, and we'll create one method that will be a static one, public static I result, OK, pagination result, and it will be the extension method for the I result extensions, and we'll pass here the page size, page number, int total items, int total pages, and also I enumerable of object called items. The first thing to do, we have to check if the result extensions is available or not. If not, then we are throwing the argument null exception. So argument null exception, throw if null, and then result extensions. Below we have to create one class that will be called pagination result, and we'll pass the page size, page number, total items, total pages, and also enumerable of object items, and will inherit from result. And now we have to implement this method that is required by the result. So we'll write public async task execute async, and we'll pass the HTTP context called HTTP context. And now we have to create one anonymous object that will be called header. And this header will create like that, so it will be the anonymous type, and we are passing the page size, page number, total items, and also the total pages. The next thing to do is to add to the response. To the response, we have to add the special header. So we'll write response dot headers dot append, and we'll type x-pagination, and then we'll use the JSON serializer to serialize our header. So JSON serializer dot serialize that header that we defined here above. And now we have to add also one essential header that will allow us to expose this header to the caller. So we'll write response.headers.append as well, and we have to write access dash control dash expose headers, and we have to pass the same x-pagination header. We'll write the HTTP context response dot status code, and it will be, of course, because we are extending the OK result, so it will be the status codes of 200 OK. Then we have to write await HTTP context dot response write as JSON async, and finally we are using those items. And in here we have to return new pagination result, and we have to pass all of those arguments to our constructor. So the page size, page number, total items, total pages, and items itself. Now we have to use our results extensions in our movies module, so in the minimal API endpoints, and we have to change the results.ok to return results.extensions.ok pagination result, and we have to pass movies dot page size, movies dot current page, movies dot total count, movies dot total pages, and also movies dot items. And now, as you see, we'll try it out. We have the page size and page number, and we'll pass, for instance, page size 5, page number 1, execute. As you see, now we don't have anymore all our pagination data inside of the body in the response, but we have all of them here in that x-pagination header, in the response header, and as you see, all of them are properly parsed, and then we'll retrieve all of those data in our React application. Now we have to create our model for the pagination in the React side. So we'll create one model called pagination.ts, and inside of that file we'll have a couple of the classes and interfaces, so it will be like one centralized point of all of those pagination related objects. So we'll start with the pagination request params, because for now we have to pass not only the get request to our API, but we have to pass as well the page size and the page number. So we'll start with the pagination request params that will pass then into our API connector here. So it will be not only the API base URL with the /movies, but also we have to pass the page number and page size. So we'll start with that. Export class pagination request params. Pagination request params. And in here, we'll write page size, and it will be the type of number. And also page number will be number. And we'll create the constructor. We'll pass the page size as the number. Page number also the type of number, and we'll assign this in the constructor, so the page size will be equal to page size, and also this dot page number will be the page number. The next class will be called pagination result of type T. So we'll also create that class. So pagination result, the generic type, and inside of it we'll have the data called T, and also the pagination params that will retrieve from our header. So we have to create as well this interface. So will be pagination params or undefined or undefined. Here on the top we'll create interface that will be the representation of our pagination header. So pagination params, and we'll have current page, the number, items per page will be the number as well, total items as well, it will be the number, and total pages also number. And here we have to create the constructor, and we will pass the data as the T, so the generic type, and also the pagination params of the type pagination params. And we'll assign this data is equal to data, and also this pagination params is equal to the pagination params from our arguments in the constructor. remove unused space as well. Now we'll create the dropdown and also the pagination component that we'll use from the semantic UI, and then we'll assign the page number and also the page size based on that, and we'll pass all of that data to our getMovies method. So we'll start with creating the one div and also dropdown and pagination. So I'll write div with the style of margin top, and it will be 20 pixels. Display will be flex. Justify content will be as the space between. And also we have to align the items to the center. So align items center. And inside of this div, we'll use the dropdown from our semantic UI. And in here, we have to type that it's the selection dropdown. And in options, we'll have an array of numbers. So it will be actually the list of those options to select with the key, text, and also value. So I will write key. The first one will be 5. Text is, of course, the stringified 5, and also the value will be 5. We can copy it and create a couple of those. It will be 5, 10, 20, and also 30. We can write as well that the value will be the page size that we'll create in a moment, and also on change will be the method called handle page size change. We have to create one hook for the page size, and it will be the const page size set page size will be equal to use state, and the initial one will be 5. Now we have to create the method for handling the page size change. So I will write const handle page size change. And in here, it will be not used variable of React dot synthetic event and data of the type any. And we'll need one more hook that we'll reuse later on. So it will be the pagination request params set pagination request params. It will be the use state with the type of pagination request params that we have created. And inside of it, we have the page size, will be the page size, and also page number will be the page number. We have to create as well one hook for the page number. So I'll do it right now. Page number and set page number. The initial state, it could be 0. And we have to use here in the handle page size change. We have to use the set pagination request params. And it will be the using the existing pagination request params, and we'll only change the page size for the data dot value. Now we can move further. We'll use the pagination from the semantic UI for selection of the active page and to change the pages and so on and so forth. So we'll use first property will be called active page and have the page number. Then will be the total pages, and total pages is actually required. So we have to get the total page number that we have to create. So once again, we have to create the hook for it, and we'll fetch this from our API. So it will be the total page number, set total page number, and it will be initial state as the 0 pages, and also on page change. When we'll click some other page, we would like to change it, and we'll create one method handle page number change, and it will be actually similar to the method that we had over here from the dropdown. So we'll create once again the method, but it will be the handle page number change. We will not use the synthetic event from React, but it will be the React dot mouse event with the type of HTML anchor element. Data is any, and of course we'll set this to page number, and the data.value will be this value. Also, we have to take this pagination inside of the div and also the button as well to create the movie. Now, as you see, we have a very fancy looking dropdown, but we don't have any pages yet because we are not fetching this from the API. And also this is the default value that will not do anything actually. Now we have to pass the pagination request params into the getMovies method. So I'll do it right now, but our getMovies is not accepting any arguments to the method, so we'll change this. So it will be the pagination request params type pagination request params. Yeah, it is not used, but we'll use it right now. So we'll add this as the query parameter. So with the question mark, we'll write the page size is equal to $, and then pagination request params dot page size and page number is equal to as well $sign pagination request params dot page number. Now we'll make one modification for the Axios that we are using in our project. So far we're using the Axios, that is the direct usage of the Axios from that library. We would like to create the Axios instance just to have everything in the one place. So in this API directory, I'll create the file called Axios instance.ts, and we'll just create Axios instance, and it will be the Axios.create, and in here we'll use the base URL, and it will be the $sign of our API base URL. And then we'll export default Axios instance, and we have to use this Axios instance everywhere that we are using the Axios. So here, Axios instance, also here, this get method, and also delete method. Now we can get rid of this API base URL. We'll just remove it, and we'll have only that /movies to have the proper path to that endpoint of the all of those movies collection. I'll remove this and also that Axios. We are using as well that Axios instance in our interceptor. So I will change this as well to the Axios instance. In this banner, we can just go to our app.tsx and get rid of that setup error handling interceptor that was affected here. And we have to also use this method, so it will be the setup error handling interceptor. And now we have to change the name of the setup error handling interceptor to the setup response interceptor. We'll change the name as well here, because we'll fetch the header data that will assign then to the pagination params and will pass into the response. So inside of this onFile field, we have to change this a bit. And in here, we'll just write const pagination params, because we'll get all of those from the response dot headers, and our header was called x-pagination. And then if we have those pagination params, then and only then we'll assign the response.data to the new pagination result, and it will be the response.data, and we'll pass those params, but we have to parse them. So we'll pass the pagination params, and we'll return the response as Axios response of the pagination result type, and also any. If it was not fulfilled, then we are returning the response. Since our Axios interceptor is the only one, we can just remove that Axios interceptor, and just to have the proper behavior of that interceptor with the single instance, we'll just remove that Axios interceptor.ts file and also the directory, and we'll put this into the Axios instance.ts. And now once we have deleted the file with the interceptor, we can paste everything here just to have that not the Axios interceptors file, but setup response interceptor in the same place as the Axios instance. And then we'll create the Axios instance, and then if it was not set up, then we are setting the whole response interceptor, and then we are exporting the default Axios instance. Now we have to change the return type from this getMovies method, and also what we are getting as an Axios response from the API. So we'll change this to the Axios response of type pagination result, of type movie DTO array. Get rid of this, and also we have to return from this method promise of the pagination result, and also the type of the movie DTO array. And now we have to write that if response.data is available, and also the response.data is an array, so array dot is array. This is the movie DTO array, so it should be array, but just in case we have to check it. And then const modified data equal to the response dot data, so the movies DTO, and we have to map all of those. As you remember, we are taking the movie, and inside of it we are using 3 dots to get all of those property values, and only to change the created date for the movie. Created date dot slice from 0 to 10. If it's not available, then it will be the string empty. And then we'll return response.data, and also data will be the modified data. And we have to write also else will not be available, then we'll return empty object of the pagination result. And now finally, in our movie table component, we have to change the way of fetching the data. So I will just take this fetch data function outside of that use effect, and we'll start from the very beginning. So the const pagination result is equal to await API connector dot get movies, and also pagination params. Then if the pagination result has data inside, then we'll use pagination result and retrieve the data, and also pagination params. From it, the pagination result. And then if data is available and also the pagination params are as well available, then we are setting the movies. So set movies into the data. Then we'll set total pages number as the pagination params dot total pages. Set page number pagination params dot current page, and also the set page size. It will be the pagination params dot items per page. It will be all, and we have to write as the dependency for that use effect our pagination request params. So this is very important, because if we'll change the page size or we'll change the page number, then immediately it will be indicated that we have to reload once again and fetch data from our API. As you see, our pagination looks like this. We'll check if it works or not. As you see, when we change the page size, then it changes automatically based on that. And when we change the number of the page, we have some kind of an error. So we can inspect this to check. We have the error fetching movies, the Axios error, and what's inside of it. As we see, the request was an expected error occurred as the response. And as you see, the page number is undefined. So probably our method to handle the page number change is not working properly. So we can just go and check in the code how it will look like. Handle page size changed. We have this method and page number change. The event is proper one, data any. Yes, but we're not assigning the data.value, but data.active page. And when we'll change it, refresh the page, then as you see, everything works fine. Also, you can use those buttons, and also, as you see, everything works fine as expected. Alright guys, that's everything for today's video. If you haven't subscribed my channel yet, then please hit the subscribe button down below, give me the like, write the comment, and see you in the next one.